should've listened to my mama.
Mama's really right.
I should've listened to my mama.
Yeah, mama, no.
Alright, so I just wanted to make a video about the colorism witch hunt that's recently happened on Twitter. Personally, I think people are doing way too much. Way too much. And I don't mean us as black girls, because we have every single right to be upset. The abuse that was and is still hurled at us is so damaging. So of course we're going to be upset, and rightly so. But, and this is a big but, Twitter was an entirely different app back in those days. Entirely different. It was not a nice place to be if you were fat or if you're a black girl. If you're a fat black girl, you were finished. You were actually done, like you were finished. And by the way, I was a fat black girl, first and foremost. Being on Twitter back then, I felt so bad about myself, like, and it was such a strong subconscious self-resentment because it was just the norm to get onto black girls. It was normal. It was just a regular joke that was thrown around on Twitter. People saw it as nothing back then. It was just a regular joke that was just always thrown around. I would just be minding my business and I would see a tweet, whether it had gone viral or not, that was just completely slandering black girls. And we couldn't even say anything, like we were silenced. And if someone did pipe up and defend themselves, you were finished. It would make people hound you even further and get onto you even more for the simple fact that you, as the target, have spoken up. The people who were involved with this should be held accountable. Of course they should. But I don't agree with this being done the way it's being done. Trolls come from Twitter. Twitter is not the place to try and educate people. It's dark. I'm really slandering Twitter right now, but it deserves it. Twitter is dark and everyone just runs with whatever is a trending thing to run with at that particular time. The saddest thing for me is that it be our own people running with things and mocking things that are derogatory to their own people. It's sad. So let me give you guys an example, yeah? The scandal with Spac Nation and Pastor Toby. Pastor Toby and Spac Nation have blatantly exploited and rinsed our community. They violated the community to the point that them man were on Panorama, BBC One Panorama, a whole documentary surrounding the madness that was going on in there, that is still going on in there. That's how you know it's deep. When that scandal first surfaced, people were running with it. Everyone on Twitter, as per, was outraged or seemingly outraged. Like, we were upset. I say we because listen, even me, I was going hard. Listen, I was going hard. Like, still don't condone Spac to this day, by the way. To this day.
To this day!
But funnily enough, about a week ago, Pastor Toby made a joke. The joke was not even that funny. It was just a pun. He said something like, oh, I'm offending people with Fendi. And in fact, in the beginning of the video, he even said, oh, I know you people like this and it makes my views go up. You're endorsing Pastor Toby's brand, which is that unruly church. It's unruly. Do you think that's okay? Like, come on now. The same people that are sharing this and keying and putting it in their caption are the same people who were meant to be against it. People have changed their display names to it. People are even using this in the caption of their pics. People just run with things on Twitter. Whatever's currently being ran with, they will run with too. It's like a marathon of just... Twitter is like a marathon. People are just running with things and just passing batons and doing all sorts, relaying things. The same thing was happening from about 2012 to 2016, but with the agenda of black girls and colorism, racism, you name it, it was a thing. It's actually how people blew up. If you think Twitter is bad now, you're so mistaken. Like, even if you see screenshots from tweets back then, you still don't get it because you weren't there, you weren't living it. Back then it was so normal to be horrible to anyone different, especially black girls. It was like a thing. Ask Aloni. She used to hold the most undeserving abuse for pretty much no reason, and she still does to this day. I even feel like she has a platform now because she was such a regular victim that her name got around, and then obviously she monetized it. She monetized that, what she was going through. I rate Aloni. The things that I used to see that were aimed at her, the battle she was fighting daily, because she was one of them ones where she stuck up for herself. It was disgusting to see. It was horrible to see. As a black girl, it hurt me to see that. And I was like 13 back then seeing all this. It done a lot of damage to how I felt about myself. The same as it did with other girls, other black girls. And people were just running with it. Even the black girls, don't get it twisted. Even the black girls were just running with it. And like, I have never agreed with it, especially when it comes to the rape jokes. I think it takes a certain type of person to make jokes like that. Whether people were running with it or not, it takes a certain type of nasty, rotten person to make jokes about rape. That's not on. You just don't do them things. When women make jokes like that, I just think that they need help. They need therapy. They need to get to the bottom of why they think it's okay to say things like that and fix it and stop it. It's disgusting. How can you know that you even made jokes like that and not run back and delete those things? It's so messed up. I can't fathom it even till now. Don't get me wrong, there is some people from other demographics that are truly genuinely upset by this. The people that are doing up wake up under people's tweet, this is entertainment for them. This is entertaining. This is just another Sunday on Twitter. These people, they're getting likes for it, they're getting retweets, their interactions are blowing up, and as clout chasers, they love that. They've made it their duty to draw people out because it's actually benefiting them. It's like a drug, and nothing is off limits when it comes to clout chasing, especially not this. And that's what doesn't sit well with me. It really does not sit well with me that people are using our trauma as entertainment, as a way to get interactions. For example, the Nella Rose tweet, or the Nella Rose tweets, because she tweeted a lot of things. Let me say something before I get into that. If you weren't a young black girl during that era of Twitter, you don't understand. You'll never understand. You can sympathize with it, but you don't get it. I'm a dark-skinned black girl as well. I'm actually from the same town as KSI. I'm not from a racially diverse town. At one point, there was a time where, oh, my hair looks really bad. There was a time where all of KSI's videos revolved around dark humor. I'm from a town where the black men are like that grew up in rural areas like mine, or like Essex, for example, or just out of London that's not so racially diverse. I don't want to say we had it worse, but we probably did. It was a different kind of abuse. It was a different kind of abuse and self-hate. It's a deep issue. It's a very, very deep issue. And Twitter, it just highlighted that. It shone a light on the inner self-hate we had that we couldn't help but have. We couldn't help but have it. Everyone was coming for us, left, right and centre, unprovoked. And yes, those people should be held accountable for the horrible things that they said, even if it was a lifetime ago. I don't think it's fair for people to get onto Nella Rose or any other black girl for saying those things, because those tweets just show internalized racism. I feel like those tweets there were a coping mechanism to act as if they weren't bothered about the abuse that they were also on the receiving end of. Other races, and even worse, their own people. From when you're seeing tweets from Stormzy, Mr. Stiff Chocolate, from when you're seeing tweets from Stormzy laughing at things that are aimed at the women that he loves dearly in his life, I'm so certain that Stormzy would have seen those tweets, laughed at them online, even though he was probably sat at home with his mum, who he loves dearly, God bless her, watching EastEnders, and it was just the normal. It was just normal. This is my point. It was actually a thing. It shouldn't have been, but it was a thing to run them jokes. People don't care. They're just doing it for the interactions. They're doing it for the attention. And I'm not mocking it because it's a serious thing, but the way it's being done is so unserious. It's so unserious. I felt really sad actually seeing those Nella tweets because it resonates with me. And not just me, other black girls. It was a traumatic experience for all of us. It plants a seed in you of self-hate that is really hard to heal from. Imagine seeing tweets that are just people hating on you for who you are and who you can't help being, and not being able to say anything about it. And if you do say anything about it, you're the angry black girl. It really wasn't nice. I feel like people need to start having their own opinions instead of following crowds, because that doesn't actually get you anywhere. You just stay ignorant. Do your research, think about things for your own self, yeah? And if you genuinely feel the way that everybody else feels, then you feel that way, that's fine. But don't just jump on bandwagons without having understanding and sympathy for what other people was going through at that time. I just know that a lot of black girls can relate with Nella Rose. Me personally, I used to get called Blicky Minaj, and I couldn't even get upset because it was masked as a compliment. And even when people would say, oh, you're pretty for a black girl, and I would see that as, oh, it's a compliment, because obviously in that time everybody was slating black girls. So when I get called Blicky Minaj, or when I get told I'm pretty for a black girl, it was like, oh thanks. Like it wasn't the standard. I felt like, wow, like that's such a big compliment, because I was conditioned to hate myself, and that my skin color meant that I had to accept these horrible things said to me. I had to accept it. People need to have understanding and form their own judgments instead of following Twitter crowds, especially Twitter crowds. Like, give it a rest. Because even when this dies down, for those who weren't affected, things just carry on as they were. Like, for example, you see that guy that bakes fairy cakes, like, he's supposedly cancelled, just like Pastor Toby was cancelled. But there you lot were the other day making Pastor Toby go viral. I'm dead serious. Like, if I cancel you, you're cancelled. I have no faith in you lot cancelling anyone for that matter. People are supposedly outraged about Nella Rose. She's getting followers. Does that make sense? That's why I think you lot need to relax. I ain't saying us as the victims, yeah, or the people that are genuinely upset about this. Thank you for being upset about this. I'm talking about the others. I can't even explain how ashamed I am of some of the black guys that are condoning this on the TL. There's people that are doing wake up for their own entertainment. And it's getting to me because these people are acting like they're doing it for the greater good, but they're not. They're doing it for clout. And I hate to see black girls joining in with the clout under the impression that these people are trying to help them or that these people are on our side. You can't be going that hard and acting like it really affects you when it doesn't actually affect you. Only we've got us. Only we've got us for real. No one else has got us like us. If your friend has broken their leg, you feel bad for them. You think, oh, like that must really hurt. But do you feel the pain? No, you don't. And it's the same exact thing with this. People are just going off on a whim right now because everyone else is. It's kind of bittersweet because someone was saying to me how lessons will be learned from this. I'm so glad, but I just hate that it had to be like this. I hate that it had to be like this. It hurts for the people that it's aimed at, whether directly or indirectly. I get upset because I used to feel so ugly because society told me I was. Do you know how that feels? That's how much we were conditioned and still kind of are conditioned to really hate ourselves. And it's wrong. It's really wrong. And that's why I think this is all too much. If you want to have a serious conversation on social media, go on Quora, go on Reddit. Twitter is for the birds. Literally. It's an app for exposing, because that's what this is, really and truly. It's just people getting exposed. I actually feel like all this palaver, people are gonna hear about colorism or see colorism going on and not take it seriously and think that the people who are victim to it are overreacting. Unless it's something really, really blatantly racist or colorist, they're gonna think, oh yeah, like they're overreacting. People will look back on these couple of days and just dismiss the severity of colorism. Probably deep down they'll just be thinking, oh, it's just black girls playing the victim again, because that's what people think that we're doing. We're playing victim all the time. I still see people under vulgar tweets talking about, oh yeah, it's a preference. And that's because the platform it's being thrown around on is Twitter. It's unserious. It's Twitter. It's for the birds. The icon is literally a bird. Please. People on Twitter are trolls, and it just shines a light on the dark opinions that people carry and would never dare say. So just to summarise what I've said in this video, I do not condone colorism whatsoever. It's not a nice thing for anyone to go through, and it's even worse to be made to feel like you shouldn't be hurt about something because other people find it funny. Secondly, Twitter is not even a fraction of what it was back in the day. It was actually, like, not to be dramatic, it was a bullying battlefield. It was a bullying battlefield. Thirdly, people need to stop following the crowd and think for themselves. Before you do something and jump on a certain bandwagon, think to yourself, do I actually agree with what everyone's saying? Or do I just want to chime in because that's what everyone else is doing? Think about it. Stop acting outraged and cancelling people if you're just going to endorse their brand later on or share their post later on. If you're serious about something, do something to change it. Even if it's a small thing, like just you personally not supporting them anymore. And this is so cliche, but listen, you have to be the change you want to see in the world. Even if it's just you making one small tiny change, be that change. No one ever got anywhere by following mass crowds, especially not on Twitter. So yeah, man, let's do better, guys, man. We've all got our own brains. We don't all share a brain. My back's hurting, but yeah, listen. Thanks for watching. Let me know your opinions. Even if you disagree with me, let me know, because do you know what it is? My opinion can't really be changed unless something, you know, really changes my opinion genuinely. I'm not going to change my opinion. So yeah, come at me if you disagree. I'm not really that bothered, like, literally. I was going to post a video today about something else because I haven't actually posted for like 3 weeks, but I decided that this was more important to me. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think down below or on my social medias. I'm going to put my social media here somewhere. Get at me, don't get on to me. Alright, okay, bye guys. Hope everyone has a really lovely day, evening, morning, wherever it is. And yeah, man.